right, everybody, I'm out of the truck wash. Got her all cleaned up, and I pulled around here to the supply barn and swapped out a couple of timbers. You know, when I got this trailer in a load swap a couple of nights ago, it didn't have any square timbers. I had 8 bevel timbers, you know, and we're supposed to have 6 bevel timbers and 2 square timbers. So traded in 2 beveled timbers and got 2 square timbers. All right, let's go across here and see if I can find a spot to park this thing for a couple days. Giving you a look of the grounds. Whew, I'm tired, man. I've been getting up early this week. I'm talking like 1:30 in the morning. It's like working at the newspaper. Alright, I see a spot here to my left I'm probably going to come back and get because I like that spot. But I'm just giving you a shot of the training building at this point for your viewing pleasure. You know, when you come to Maverick and you start your training, you'll be in this building most of the time. Nice training classes inside there. Got your like a little break room. It's not really a break room, it's where you have your meals. You know, they have the meals catered in here for breakfast and lunch. Real nice classrooms. And then right here with the open bay doors, that's the training bay where they teach you, you know, your securement part of the training, safety, that kind of stuff. They have about a dozen trailers in there set up with different types of loads. You know, some of our most common types of loads where they show you how to properly secure, and you get to practice. You know, it's a very good system. You know, they teach you safety, you know, how to get on and off the trailer safely, how to handle all the equipment, all the safety gear, some of the things you'll encounter at some of the shippers we service, you know, safety harnesses and, you know, all of that stuff. All right, so the front row is pretty open, but I would rather get this spot over here, because then when I come back out here Sunday evening to move all my stuff out of my personal vehicle into my big truck, I can just pull the car right up to the front of the truck and not have to walk over that grassy mound out front. Okay guys, let me try to wrap up this week with a quick review. You know, let's see, I started this week. Remember, I was empty on Monday morning. I had an 8 o'clock dentist appointment, so I didn't get out here till 9:15 or so. I was empty, and they dispatched me about an hour and a half from here to meet up with another driver and repower his load. So I did that, and went to Coleman, Texas. Then from there I went to Cameron, Texas. There at Charlotte Pipe, picked up a preloaded trailer that delivered in Weatherford, Texas. Except I didn't deliver that one. I got almost all the way there, and then that's when I met Joshua. He got there, you know, like midnight, and we swapped. He took that load and delivered it the next day, and I took his load. Where'd that load go? Ha! Paragould, Arkansas. And then from Paragould, they sent me over to Armorel, Arkansas, or Blytheville, to the Nucor Yamato mill. And I got those big steel beams that I delivered yesterday in Hewitt, Texas. And then from Hewitt, they sent me over to Carthage, Texas, where I picked up this load that I have now, this strand board, OSB plywood, that I'll deliver Monday morning in Tulsa. So probably what I'm going to do is, when I'm delivering to Tulsa for a Monday, I usually like to leave out late Sunday afternoon, you know, about maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock. Drive about 3.5 hours, get into Oklahoma, and then shut it down for the night. That leaves me about an hour and a half or less to get to Tulsa. Let's see. What else do I need to talk about? The miles for the week, and I already talked about this a little bit, but you know, I don't want to talk about this a lot again, but you know, I helped myself out a couple times this week just by being a little more aggressive with my deliveries, you know, by calling the customer, trying to get in, checking their delivery, when their receiving windows, you know, because sometimes what they put on the paperwork is not accurate completely. Like it might say they receive until 3, but if you call, they may say they receive until 4, you know, so could make a difference. So let's take a look at the miles, just to give you an idea. You know, on average, because I had somebody ask me this a few days ago, you know, what's a typical miles like? You know, I'd say average for all weeks, including, you know, weeks that you take off a day or two or whatever, you know, an average for the whole year is probably 2,100 miles for a weekly average. But, you know, on a good week, you know, I'll get, say, 2,400 to 2,800 miles is a pretty good week, you know. Sometimes I'll get 2,900 to 3,000, but not very often. You know, that's a pretty aggressive week right there. But you know, getting 2,400 to 2,600 is pretty normal, you know, for a full work week where I didn't take any days off or, you know, get home an extra day early or something like that. But let's look at this week. It's got me posted at a little over 2,000 miles right now for this week, but that doesn't include the load that I'm hauling right now. So you got to figure the deadhead on that was probably almost 200 miles. I think it was about 185 miles. And then I probably drove about 200 miles today. So, you know, I'm probably going to be at about 2,400, you know, somewhere between 23 and 2,400 miles for this week. And I didn't even get out and start until Monday morning. You know, I didn't leave here till about 9:45 or something like that. So, and I'm getting home on a Friday afternoon. So that's pretty good. I'll have Friday night, Saturday night, most of Sunday, and then I'll leave out, like I said, late Sunday afternoon. I could even wait till Monday and just get up early and leave real early Monday morning, but I just like to, it's just a little easier to get I just prefer to do a little bit of that trip on Sunday night most of the time. Just depends on what I got going on. Okay, I had a couple of topics here. I made some notes I've been trying to, let me turn the engine on. I need to get some air going here. I've been trying to keep up with all the emails and comments and all the students that are starting, but I know I'm missing some stuff. I'll try to kind of catch up. Like I just got a message a couple hours ago from Robert, who said he starts training class this weekend here at the Maverick facility, Sunday. That's usually when they start the classes. I'm not sure where he lives, but he was asking about the boots, you know, whether or not you have to have, you got to have steel-toe shoes for sure. And ones that cover your ankle are recommended, you know, like boots. But his question was, are steel-toed shoes acceptable? You know, and I've emailed a recruiter to double check that, hadn't heard back yet. I kind of think it is acceptable, because I know I had a couple of people in my class that had, when I was in training, that had steel-toed shoes, not boots. But when I get a reply, official reply, I'll let you know. Let's see. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I had a guy asking if Maverick, you know, were they going to require that all employees get vaccinated? And at this point, the answer to that is no, it's not required. You know, they encourage it, but it's not required. And this particular guy, this fella Jason, had asked about, you know, does Maverick work with people based on religious exemptions? And the answer to that is yes. I did get an answer back from recruiting, and they said yes, they do work with people for the religious exemptions. So, all right, let's see. I had a couple of topics here I wanted to try to address. You know, that driver I met earlier that was kind of interested in Maverick, but he was driving for another company right now. He mentioned that he was actually training. Now, he's only been driving for this company for, he said, 6 months. And they've already got him training other people. And he even said, you know, it's like the blind leading the blind. You know, that won't happen to you here at Maverick. You won't have somebody that fresh training you. Yeah, that's not going to happen. And to make it worse, he said it's kind of like a team driving situation, you know, where he's driving, then he's in the bunk trying to rest, and the student's driving, you know, more like a team driving situation. And that's not training. That should not happen, and that will not happen with you at Maverick. You know, the trainer should not be just, you know, resting in the bunk while you're driving. You know, that's not how it works. So yeah, that's not a good deal. If you're talking to a company, or you're with a company and that's how they're working it, I recommend you look at getting out of there. Okay, the subject of per diem. I'm going to talk about this and try not to take too long and wrap this up, but the subject of per diem has been a pretty hot topic the last couple of years. And per diem basically is an allowance that you're allowed to take as a truck driver to help you cover your living expenses while you're out on the road away from home. You know, like your meals. Sorry, shut that off. Like your meals while you're out on the road away from home. And up until 2018, everybody could claim that, whether you're an independent contractor, employee, driver. You know, I'm explaining this the way I understand it. You know, this is not an official IRS video, so don't hold me to that. But I'm really trying to give you a picture of how it's going to work for you at Maverick. But in 2018, when they changed, you know, a lot of the tax laws, they changed it so that employee drivers, company drivers, like you'll be if you come to Maverick, are only allowed to use the per diem if their company offers an approved plan. So Maverick does offer that, which is good, but not everybody does. Like I have a friend who is a company driver, and they do not offer the per diem, you know. So the company, like Maverick, has to, you know, follow some rules and have a plan that's accepted and approved to be order to offer us drivers the option of taking the per diem allowances. You don't have to. In fact, when you're hired and you're going through all the hiring paperwork, you know, benefits and all that, you'll get to choose whether or not you want to take the per diem allowance or not. I recommend you do, because what it does is it allows Maverick to give you the per diem deduction before your taxes are calculated. And I think right now the per diem allowance is $66 a day, you know, meaning you're away from home. You have to be a certain amount of miles away from home and away for a certain amount of hours for it to count. I don't know all the rules, but it basically lowers your taxes. All right, so I would, you know, if your company offers the per diem, I would recommend you take it. The only reason why you might not, in my opinion, is if, you know, let's say in the near future you're planning on buying a house or a car or something, and you need your income to be reported as higher, then you might want to look at not taking the per diem. But basically the per diem is going to lower your taxes. You know, it's going to lower your taxable income. So I think that's a good thing. Now, one question and part of the confusion that I even talked to an owner-operator yesterday and asked him about the per diem, and he thinks that he's not allowed to take per diem. But my research shows that independent owner-operators are allowed to take per diem. You know, it's a business expense. You know, instead of them having to keep track of every little receipt when they buy food out on the road, they are just allowed to take the per diem allowance, and it just simplifies things. So, but there's a lot of confusion out there about that. But as far as you as a new Maverick driver going through orientation and the hiring process here, that's what it means. You know, do you want to have Maverick deduct that per diem allowance of $66 right now? In October it changes to $69, I think. So do you want them to deduct that allowance from your taxable income when they're doing your payroll? That's the question. If you want to take the allowance, say yes and lower your taxes. Or if you want to show a higher taxable income and pay more taxes, decline. That's how it works. So I hope that answers that. There's lots of stuff you can look up on your own out there, you know, if you really have more questions on that. Yeah, so that's what I got there. So okay guys, I'm gonna wrap it up and go home
Enjoy the weekend. I'll see you back out here Sunday.